Have you been feeling like you keep getting the same lesson from the universe over and over again, and you're like, but yo, uni, like what's up? I thought we'd went through this. I thought we learned this lesson. Like, what is the deal and why? Hey, it's your girl Abby, aka New Age Coach here, and I am lighting the way for those on their way to the light and to my soul vibers. That is those of you who are already subscribed. Thank you. Anyone new just tuning in, welcome. On this channel, we talk all things self and soul development. So if you like that vibe and want to join the tribe, hit subscribe. Now, you might notice I am in a different scenery here because this is just a very chill conversation. I was sitting here in my living room, looking out my window, pondering on life, the meaning of life. What is existence? What does it all mean? In my pajamas, messy hair, don't care, and I had a realization that I wanted to share with you all. There's a certain life situation that keeps perpetuating in my life, and as of lately, I find myself asking the question I opened up this video with, like, hey, I feel like I've done so much introspection, so much shadow work, so much self-reflection, so much questioning and diving deep and trying different modalities and journaling and meditating and doing all the yogas and doing all of the spiritual events. And yet, despite my best efforts of being the flagpole and not the flag, right? Trying to be the strength, to be steady and resolved and grounded and balanced and not be swayed by all of this. Again, I feel like there's this perpetual theme that keeps resurfacing, and I'm saying, but I've done all these things. Why? Why haven't we figured this out, Abby? Why haven't we processed this? Why are we not moving past this? Why are we stuck here? What if we were to think about progress as not just like this linear thing where you had a lesson, you learned it, you never have to go back to that same lesson. Now you learn another lesson, you learn. It's this like straight line, right? That's not how progress works. That's not how life works. That linear lines is not how anything works on this journey. What if we thought of progress in our self-development journey like this spiral, right? It really only goes deeper, okay? So let's say at the top of the spiral, the circle at the top, let's say that's an example of a lesson in, let's say something happens in your life, you're getting perpetually broken up with, right? You're in relationships and you're always getting broken up with. It always ends on someone else's terms and you're just like, why does this keep happening, right? So using that as an example for what I'm trying to explain, let's say you get broken up with, that first layer of the circle, and then you go down a layer of that spiral. Let's say that's a couple years later, right? You're in a new relationship, same thing happens. A couple years later, you get broken up with and you find yourself saying, but this just happened a few years ago. And a few years ago, I learned, I did all this introspection and I learned that I was being way too codependent, right? So I've cleaned up my act. I feel like I've gained this new level of awareness and how to be independent and not attached to somebody else and really, be happy and comfortable with me. That's great. That's the journey. That's part of the lesson you were supposed to learn in that original relationship. So when the second time comes around in that second spiral and you're still asking yourself, okay, but I learned how to not be codependent. Why am I still getting broken up with? Maybe it's the question of what else is there still to learn? And there's a deeper layer. Okay, you did learn how to detach from codependency, but now maybe your lesson when you get broken up with, the same theme is to learn self-forgiveness or forgiveness, right? Maybe you learned how to detach from that first person or in relationships, but you never fully forgave the person or yourself for the reasons why that happened. So you've learned codependency, you've gone down the second spiral where the same life theme is happening, but now it's not a matter of learning codependency. You haven't regressed, you've still progressed in that lesson, but now it's time to learn how to forgive. Fast forward a few years later, another spiral down, you're still attracting situations where you're breaking up, you're getting broken up with, and you're like, I've learned how to not be codependent. I've learned how to forgive myself and others. Maybe as we go deeper into the spiral, your lesson is now how to be compassionate, how to show yourself self-care when you're in situations like this, because usually you just put your bootstraps on, you're right back out there in the dating game, you haven't given yourself any time to process, right? Maybe your lesson is in compassion and self-care. Fast forward a few years later, maybe you get broken up with again. It's not about the fact that you're going backwards, right? That's what life is. It's this perpetual spiral of going deeper and deeper and unpeeling so many layers of the journey. It's never a one-stop shop. There's so much to learn in any given situation. So I hope this video helps you. The next time that you're feeling like you're stuck in Groundhog Day with a certain theme that keeps coming up, or you're stuck in a pattern, or like you feel like you're going backwards, right? I hope this video serves to remind you that while it might be the same situation, each time it occurs, you're not the same. You're a different person because you are, in essence, growing. You're learning a significant lesson each time this happens, and that is the process of evolution. And growth can sometimes be painful and confusing and messy and all over the place, not in one straight line. But here's what I want you to remember. Don't let yourself and your emotions spiral. Try to remember that the journey is a spiral and that you are continuously going down a path of deep, deep spiritual growth, and that you can't do this wrong, okay? Thank you for still being here on this channel. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you in the next video.